You know, ever since the Rams beat the Cardinals on Saturday night, I have been seeing a ton of depressed Sea Chicken and Whiner fans come into the comments of my videos and other Rams-related content saying things like, one and done, first round exits, you guys have no shot in the playoffs, you guys are going to get blown out, yada, yada, yada. And while nobody asks the haters what they think about the Rams, here's my response to them. Maybe we do get bounced in the first round, or maybe we don't. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't see into the future. It's still to be determined if we're going to be the 3 or the 4 seed and who we're going to play in the first round. It'll either be the Vikings, the Lions, the Packers, or the Commanders. And all of that will be finalized at the conclusion of the Week 18 games. But one thing is for certain, is that our Rams are guaranteed at least one home playoff game, and it has been a wild and crazy roller coaster ride this season to get to this point. Let's break it all down. To start, Aaron Donald retired in the offseason, and you can't just replace a legend like that, but you got to move forward. And so we used our first 2 picks in this past draft to invest in retooling the defensive line and selecting college teammates Jared Verse and Braden Fisk to pair up with second-year studs Kobe Turner and Byron Young. And while there were some growing pains with this group in the early portion of the season, now we can determine that this young defensive line unit is one of the best in the league currently, and Jared Verse and Braden Fisk are 2 of the best defensive rookies in the NFL this season. Fast forward to the start of training camp, and the injuries and issues with this team started to pile up immediately. In the first week of training camp alone, Darion Kendrick tears his ACL, and Darius Williams gets a hamstring injury and starts the regular season on the IR. In the second week of training camp, 2 offensive linemen go down. Alaric Jackson gets suspended for the first 2 games of the season for reasons still unknown to this day. And Rob Havenstein, who is the leader of the offensive line, gets hurt as well and misses the start of the season. Later on in training camp, Jonah Jackson and Puka both get hurt as well, but they are able to return for the Week 1 matchup against the Lions. Another thing is that about a week before the regular season starts, Les Snead and Sean McVay just decide to trade Ernest Jones on a whim for a bag of peanuts. At the time, he was by far our best linebacker and the leader of this young, inexperienced defense. And instead, they decided that we should roll with Troy Reeder and Christian Roseboom as our starting inside linebackers heading into the season. So we enter Week 1 with 2 starting offensive linemen, a starting cornerback, and a depth cornerback player all out. But it gets worse from there, as within the first 2 weeks of the regular season, we lose 2 more offensive linemen to the IR in Jonah Jackson and Steve Avila. Cooper Kupp and Puka both get hurt and don't return until Week 8. We lose John Johnson III to the IR as well, and he still hasn't returned. And so things just keep getting worse and worse for this team. So the Rams start the season 1-4, and everything at this point is falling apart. And you have everybody chiming in, saying what they believe the Rams should do next, with a majority of people saying that we should trade Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and just start fresh. To which I remember saying at the time, let's see how this team responds after the bye week, how we do against the Vikings and the other teams leading up to the trade deadline. Let's not make any rash decisions quite yet. And man, did our Rams respond in a huge way following the bye week. Coming out of the bye with a 1-4 record, we go 4-2 over the next 6 games while getting healthy in the process. So through 11 games, we sit at a 5-6 record, and things are looking up. We're in the playoff hunt. We don't trade Cooper Kupp or Matthew Stafford and blow it up. We continue to push for a playoff spot. And since then, we have won 5 in a row to go to 10-6 and clinch the NFC West title. This team and organization is very special, okay? This team is relentless, gutsy, and can battle all sorts of adversity and still produce positive results. This team has had to find different ways each week to win games, and everyone on the squad has had to step up at certain points throughout the season. One week it's the special teams, the next week it's the defense, the next week it's the offense. We haven't had all three phases click at the same time, but yet we're still finding ways to win games. Every week we've had to sweat things out to the very last second of each game, and it's never been pretty, but the end result is what matters, and what it was is a lot of W's. Now it remains to be seen how far this team can go in the playoffs, but one thing is for damn certain, is that we're gonna have a shot, and that's what matters most to me, is an opportunity, and we're gonna have at least one home playoff game in the process. And given the way that this team has grinded out gutsy victories in different ways each week, there's potential for this team to do damage in the playoffs. And another thing, the Rams are the first team in NFL history to make the playoffs in back-to-back seasons after being 3 games under 500. Last year, we started 3-6, finished 10-7, and got a wild card spot. This year, we started 1-4, currently sit at 10-6, and are NFC West champs. Put some respect on our name. The only people hating on us right now are salty Sea Chicken and Weiner fans, because their seasons are over. Every other fan base of playoff teams currently, they're not saying anything. They know what we're capable of. So to all the haters out there, primarily other teams in the NFC West, go kick rocks. Because while your seasons are finished, we still have an opportunity to keep this special run going. And for all the Rams fans out there watching, my suggestion is to just live in the moment and enjoy the ride, however long it might be. Whether it's a first-round exit or a deep playoff run, just appreciate the special things that this team has been able to do while fighting all sorts of adversity. Because this team is special, and I think we ain't done yet. Let me know your thoughts on all this, and as always, go Rams.